Hi, and welcome to the Diablo Podcast, your home for Diablo diehards, tryhards, casual, and hardcore alike. I am your host, Xanth, and today I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Nerdwards,
Hello.
and special guest, don't call it a comeback, he's been here for years, MarcroBioBoi.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me back. I'm actually really excited for this. I missed you. I missed you
Hey,
guys.
we would have you on all the time, but like you're way busier.
You're busy.
Like we do this for shits and giggles. You do this as like a profession. So,
Yeah, I'm here purely for the clout, actually. And if
right.
we could cut the check after, that'd be pretty sick. Thank you.
Sure.
You're just
Yeah.
trying
The last one bounced.
you're just trying to reap all of our new subs after our Adam Jackson interview. And I get it. I get it. We're kind of a big deal now. First, let's acknowledge a few things. We had the Adam Jackson, and a bunch of people came and joined the channel. So welcome. That doesn't happen very often. Don't expect Adam Jackson level interviews every single week. That's not what we do here. But what we will do is talk about Diablo, which I think you're a fan of. So welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. And thank you, Macro, for jumping on in because you are
Yeah.
correct. It has been a long
Yeah.
time.
It's been a bit. Also, just to re-hype you all up, they do have fantastic interviews with like really, really awesome people a lot more often than you would think, or what Xanth is actually trying to sell you on right now. Do not let him sell you short.
Classic undersell from Xanth. Yep.
That's we have been very fortunate to bring on a lot of really cool people over the years. So yeah, it does happen. You know, we can't guarantee it happens all the time, but when it does happen, I'm always excited. So stick around, I guess. Who knows who's next? Well, actually, we are cooking up stuff, but I can't tell anybody anything. Yeah, long game. We got to play the long game on a lot of these. I will state the Adam Jackson one that started the day he left Blizzard. Is when we started talking, and then it finally it takes a while for a lot of these things to kind of come together because they have to get approval, you know, and then they have to have some wait time, and then they got to get approval of wherever else they are. But shout out to Adam Jackson. This isn't an Adam Jackson interview part two. No, this isn't it. We want to do a couple things. We want to talk about Diablo 4 season 10. Season of Chaos, which I think has taken a lot of people by surprise. Kind of dig into that. And then the other big thing that's happened is it has been a year since Vessel of Hatred launched. And it was an easy anniversary to miss. And that says something about the game. So I want to kind of go into that, dig into the 1 year anniversary, the highlights, the lowlights, and what the legacy of Vessel of Hatred happens to be in the second half of the show. So let's get into season 10. I was playing literally this morning, which is weird considering it is October 14th, gentlemen. Each one of you plays a different class. So let's start there. What has the beginning of the season felt like? How did it play? Where are you at currently? And then we'll go into the highs and lows. So let's talk your season journey. Macro, walk us through what is the Necro season journey in season 10 been like, and how'd it go for you?
So this season was a little bit interesting for me, and I'm not sure if it was a blessing or a curse. I decided to play for the first time as completely solo self-found, no trading, no grouping. I already don't take handouts from anybody in my stream. I always try to pay them like fair market price. But if people had extra gear that I needed, I wouldn't take that. I started playing level 1 alone, and I'm now on build 7 or so. I have either dropped or crafted all of the mythic uniques that I needed by farming all of my own runes. I have gambled and Bartuk farmed and Chaos Rift farmed all of my own Chaos uniques. And this was the best experience playing Diablo 4 I've ever had. And that's with almost 800 hours before the game came out. So this season, I think, is the benchmark for what Diablo 4 seasons should look like. It is a seasonal mechanic that kind of insinuates itself into every aspect of the game. So you're leveling doing Hell Tides and you're opening up Chaos Rifts. Those are getting you seasonal reputation and maybe some extra loot rewards. You work your way up into getting into the Infernal Horde, but to get those, you need the keys from the Helltide. And everything I did felt purposeful. Like when I was running Nightmare Dungeons, it was to very specifically get these kinds of drops. And then I did the bosses when I had materials. And if I got some Belials, I did some Belials. I didn't just sit in his room for literal hours on end with a bunch of duped mats you're able to buy because the gold economy is insane. If you go to Diablo.trade, then you start like working your way there. But a lot of the game becomes trivial. And when you're just doing it yourself, like every item feels impactful. Every chaos unique I got was like, oh, is there a way I could fit this in? Because I don't quite have my mythics yet. And that just felt really, really good. The Necromancer class, I guess, luckily, had a lot of builds that were easy to get off the ground. So Shadow Blight is really good, Affliction's really good, Minions is very good. And then once you got better gear, you could build into the more interesting things. Like there's been a big explosion of Shattered Spirit, Bone Spirit recently getting a lot of coverage. We knew that was going to be our best build once it got fully online, maybe by like day 4 or 5 into the season. But people needed to get the gear to make it work. And building into that, just kind of putting together what I have in my stash was a really, really good experience. It helped to kind of restructure my appreciation of where do things drop in this game? Where do you get materials? How many boss mats is a healthy amount of boss mats? So the season has just been like an absolute banger for me, like 10 out of 10, almost no notes.
Nerdwards, from the Sork side of things, I mean, how has your season's journey been going?
I would completely agree. It has been the best season so far, like bar none. I'm still actively playing it, still having a good time, and that's not always the case, right? Usually after a week or two in the season, like my friends start to wane. I'll hang on for another week or two, a little longer than them, and then eventually I find myself dipping toes into other things. Like straight up, one of my favorite games of all time, Final Fantasy Tactics, came out, the remaster, Iblis Chronicles or Iblis Chronicles. I've played it for maybe an hour because Diablo has been so good. Yeah, I want to play it really bad. It's not going anywhere. I will play it later. But Diablo has kept my attention for sure. I started with a pretty. I like to go into the season knowing where the meta is kind of shaking up, what the anticipation is going to be. But I like to just play it and see what happens. I through the leveling experience. I did. It was a lot of like your typical leveling sorcerer chain lightning build. Just whatever uniques, and then I got an aspect for Fireball, so I switched to Fireball like mid leveling just to kind of make that faster, and it was great. Leveling was super quick, but not like too quick. It felt quick, but it didn't feel like, oh god, that was nothing. It felt like I still had to work for it a little bit. And then by that point, like I have a buddy who's running Necro as well, Macro, and then another buddy who typically runs Barb. They're kind of like my core group. Everyone else is kind of like jumps in, jumps out, and yeah, like just playing with them has been super fun. Like no build is really overwhelming other builds when we play together. So like I can feel my impact when we're fighting, especially leveling up and getting to max level and starting to piece your builds together. I ended up going into the chain or into the ball lightning build because I haven't played that in a while, and it's changed. There's some things that are different about it. Plays mechanically almost identically, but there's some other modifiers and things you need to do to kind of keep up your max damage, which is good. And it just looks cooler now. It's like it's got these uniques that really make it cool. Okun's Catalyst is such a sick item. And then yeah, like Macro said, Chaos uniques. Holy shit! Like I could do this all day. Like theory, like I've got a side build that I'm working on because I got a really nice quadruple affix Chaos unique blue rose. So I'm like, shit, could I make an Ice Spikes build work? Right, that'd be super fun. So I'm like fucking with that a little bit, like experimenting with other builds and multiple friends playing sorcerer, which is great for me because I have a stash filled with shit I've been saving in case I want to switch builds. So now I'm going through my old. Oh, I've got a badass pair of boots for you, dude. Here you go. Right, like just that experience has been super super fun. And yeah, chaos uniques are amazing. I'll be honest with you, and I almost don't want to say this out loud, but I got to maintain integrity. Mana Shield is how I always want to play any RPG. Even World of Warcraft does not give me a satisfying enough Mana Shield or Energy Shield type feel, and that's because of Diablo 2 and just like how much Energy Shield meant to me. I always loved the idea of it, and I just feel like it was the best execution of it in any game I've played. But Mana Shield in Diablo 4 is just incredible. Probably too strong. Probably too strong. I put it on and I can't be killed. I have 12,000 mana. Good luck, right? Like, good luck. And I know there's something with damage mitigation that's not working right. There's no way that it's applying resistances. I'm on T4 with 300 armor and I can't be killed. I'm on T4 with 40% resist all and I can't be killed. I literally just put on that power and I was invincible. So I would love to see them bring this back, but tune it so that it's not quite as broken, but you could build into it, right? Because if you build into it with like mana per second or mana per kill, man, you can really stay active. There's room for them to nerf a little bit and require us to create a little puzzle with our gear to make it strong. But Mana Shield has been awesome. I love it. It's incredible. So yeah, no, absolutely loving the season so far, and we'll be jumping in to do a few Infernal Hordes before I go to bed tonight once we finish as well. So very, very excited about season 10.
I think, I mean, it's kind of cool after what has been, and we're gonna go into the legacy of Vessel of Hatred, to get a season that feels as good as what we were having before Vessel came out, when we were filled with a little bit more optimism for what the expansion might bring, to get a season that is putting pieces together that leads to it. Similarly, I think I share a lot of the sentiments of both of you. Although I will state, I almost dropped this season on day one because I hated leveling. I started with a druid in hardcore, so it was a little bit slower, and that I was like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not finding the fun just yet. And then I hit 60. And then I started being able to cast ravens as a core skill. And then I don't know, guys. I think druid is the best class ever. Finally,
It's
we're
pretty
number
good.
one.
It's pretty good.
We're number one.
My barb friend is
good.
playing druid now. He's playing big raven build. Like, it's giga.
And I almost crapped out on it because of the 1 to 60 initially. I'm glad I didn't. I did have my first druid die in Torment 2. And the testament to this season is I immediately made a new druid. And the 1 to 60 was significantly better with the chaos power that would allow me to cast companions as a core skill. That is just the way the druid's companions should work. They should all be a core skill. It is so much better. I ran wolves until I could get the gear for ravens, and it was fun. It was a good time. And at this point, like, I've done just about everything that I possibly could. I actually farmed mythic uniques. This is the first season that I've done that where, like, I
Wow.
got a mythic rift randomly. So I
Amazing, by the way.
yeah,
Holy
like,
shit. What a cool surprise.
That feels really it was in a T2 Helltide. Just it was the timer was just about up, and I found it. I was like, oh, this exists, and closed it, and I got my first Shaco. So hey, yay me. And then just the other day, through a blacksmith cache, I was able to pull a shroud. So woo! And then also, let's talk Lilith. Lilith is a cakewalk, so there's your free spark now.
Yeah.
It
Can I speak to that exact experience? Just like,
please.
I need to pull this clip out. I lost when it happened, so I'm gonna have to like ask my community, because I was playing solo self-found, right? I didn't have infinite Belials to farm, which I would always do, because to make build guides, you have to have the best gear, or people like won't believe that your theory craft is right, because I'm not clearing 131 like the top leaderboard. I'm like, hey, leave me alone. But I sat down and I went, okay, I really need a Ring of Starless guys for me to start trying these other core skill builds, and I don't have one. What does it take? Oh, I need 6 ohms. Okay. I've been saving up a lot of runes because I saved all of mine. I couldn't sell them because I was solo self-found. And I went, all right, everybody, we're going to sit here and craft up our runes and see what we hit. I crafted 300 rune hits, always keeping at least one of them. I hit 2 ohms in total, and that was eating all my legendary runes. I went, okay, I just need 4 more ohms. And I sat down and I ran the tributes that I had for runes. And every 5 tribute runs, I would go through and I would craft up my runes and I would see what I would get. I get another ohm here, another ohm there. We put them together. I walked over, I crafted the Ring of Starless Skies, got it in my hands, and it was like crap. It was like GA on lucky hit chance, but who cares? I had never felt such ownership over an item in the game. Like I had never felt like I put in 8 hours and I got out my 8 hours worth of reward from this system, and now I can go play the build I want to play. It's so akin to Diablo 2, where it's like, okay, I'm going to play my Blizzard Sork, I'm going to go Moat Trick Mephisto, and I'm going to kill this man until I have a Viper Magi, until I have a Shaco, until maybe I get an Oculus, and then I'm going to have enough Magic Find and survivability that I finally get to go farm Chaos Sanctuary. And there I'm going to get, like that gate of progression felt meaningful. Like it mattered that happened. And now I got to have the fun I knew was locked behind that thing. I've very rarely experienced that in the game. And it was just like, it was one of the most sincere, like, yata moments I've ever had while playing. And I kind of just like sat there and vibed in that energy for like a couple minutes on stream. It was just fun. It's like what the genre is meant to deliver, I think, at the end of the day. Is like that's the core nugget they've been trying to give me this whole time. Sorry, I just had to wax poetic about it. It was great.
No, that's great. Rune crafting is slept on. Like, same thing for me. Like, I do that every season. I don't engage in trading in Diablo 4. I haven't a lot yet. I have friends that do. I'm aware of it, but I have not played with it much myself because I want to try to, again, I like playing the game and kind of doing it all. Not that I'm like necessarily solo self out. If my buddy finds something, he'll give it to me. But like, I'm not like actively seeking trade sites, That said, like, I do the same thing. I always save all my runes, and usually mid-season, end season, when I'm starting to craft mythics that I don't have yet, I'm always rolling those. And yeah, like when you hit on a rune you need, it's like, oh shit, this feels pretty damn good, right? Run a tribute, which by the way, I love running Undercity. So like I could run rune tributes all the time. It's super fun and I love it. So I'm with you. Yeah, it is the ownership. I hadn't thought about that. The ownership or the agency to get out of your time is much better than it's ever been. Yeah.
Well, to kind of piggyback on that, I think that's where the chaos uniques have helped as well. Whereas you have your mythics that you can target through runes. Another huge part of an ARPG is obviously a chase. What has always been the detriment of D4 is the chase is shortened by the ease at which you can procure those legendary items, and then you're just chasing GAs, right? You're chasing a GA on the thing that you already have, which never feels good. But chasing a chaos unique, it's like, oh no, like, yeah, I am chasing the same item, but I'm chasing it in boots now. I'm chasing it in something different. Where would it still be better if it was a completely different item? Yes, like that would be a more diverse itemization system than what we currently have. But until that happens, this feels like a decent substitute. This is a little bit more to chase after, where it doesn't feel like everything is done right out the gate. And like I very much enjoyed that. But I guess the conversation is, should chaos uniques stay in the game? Because there is the conversation that they may depart.
No, they should not. They're heinous. But I'm not just a hater. I have logic.
I agree. I mean, they're insane. Like, if you keep them in the game, then you have to continue to one up, and the game is broken. Like, Torment 4 is a joke. It was a joke when I got Mana Shield. Like, that's all it took was Mana Shield. Oh, now it's easy. So I agree. Like, I think that they're cool, and maybe in a smaller subset of some kind, sure, they're super fun and addicting. Like the fact you can gamble them, right? Like, I was talking about how I needed a Banished Lord's Talisman set of gloves, right? I'm trying to get the overpower cheese for the the gloves, and I need a chest for Crown of Lucian. I need whatever I can, and I literally was gambling gloves just to like dump my obols, and I got a fucking 3 Aphix Banished Lord's Talisman glove chaos unique. I'm like, the fucking odds of that, right? Like, it felt like when you say something to your significant other, and then you get an ad for it 5 minutes later. It felt like that, but in gaming, and it was an item that was now mine, so it felt good. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
So, and first off, I didn't know we could just be dropping F's and S's in here. Fuck yeah, brother. That's awesome.
We're not
We
a
go hard.
PG podcast.
I just didn't know. Hopefully my dad, I don't like to swear in front of my parents, so dad, mom,
Yeah.
don't watch.
I mean,
Sorry, guys.
I'm always like
No,
in
I'm
teacher
fine.
mode where like I don't curse and it just happens, like it just bleeds over. But yeah, like I can swear too. Hell damn fart, right? So
Hell damn fart.
Hell damn fart. That's my favorite activity around HDFs. So to your point, nerd, it's the Banished Lord's Talisman, right? I needed very specifically those in a pants to play one of the builds that we were trying out, and I had like 2K obols. This is like the really fun part because I'm on both sides of it. I hear the viewpoint of the community of people who are on Twitch and on YouTube and in the subreddit and who use our website. I get all of that feedback. I also get the feedback from all the mega blasters who are, other partners and other theory crafters and their experience with stuff. And every time I heard somebody say like, it's impossible to find these items, like the rarity is ridiculous, like it's killing it for me. I'm like, I had 2K obols and I needed Banished Lord's Talisman pants, so I just went and gambled my 2K obols and I got them. It took me one inventory. Like my day one, I took my first 2K obols the moment I walked into Torment 1. By the way, save your obols for Torment 1. Don't gamble before then.
Yeah.
Because then you can get Ancestral. And I no joke, I walked up, I gambled Ebon Piercer pants, which are basically the best in slot item across all of the Necromancer builds because it's just an insane multiplier.
So yeah.
With a GA on Reaper's Pursuit, and then I immediately Masterwork crit on it twice, and I went, I literally never have to make these items ever again.
GG, yeah. GG,
and wow. It's like, oh, that's like really lucky. And then I did it with my lidless gloves, and I did it with my Banished Lord's Talisman pants, and then I did it with my Bloodless Scream boots, and then it was just like, I don't know. Have you guys gambled, dude? I just took I took the pants slot because it's the weakest slot typically on a build. It's where you can fit the most power that typically doesn't have power. And I just gambled that until I had multiple chaos uniques because it would be in that slot. And any item I would pick up in the beginning would be powerful. Later on might be good for a different build. And at best is going to be one of the ones that I needed. So it's just like, I don't know, man. I can't get lucky 30 times in 1 week. Like it can't just be I'm really, really lucky in every single activity I do. There's got to be something here.
Yeah, but were you streaming at the time? Because I've heard that streamers get priority on this stuff.
So I find it weird, Sam, that we're talking about that because we're not supposed to. I mean, yeah, I was streaming, and we have better servers.
The RNG is better.
We get a premium battle pass, and we get better server. We get premium servers. It says my name when I log in. No, but so
we'll come back to our bonuses.
Back in. to wrangle the thought back in, because I know a bunch of people when they heard us say no are like, you idiots, why would you take my fun away? So when I first saw what was coming for the Chaos Uniques, my immediate feedback was, these are way too powerful. You have to cut them in half, and they would still be too powerful. And I don't know how you're ever going to make another season after this, because, like, what else do you do? This is jumping the shark to the utmost. The big takeaways are, maybe we could do Kanai's Cube from D3, which is actually just equipping more unique items because they couldn't come up with a way to make equipping that many items balanced, because it wouldn't be. A crafting where you can take a Chaos Unique and put it onto a different unique. Okay, that's just Chaos Uniques with more steps. I think the really big takeaway from this season was highlighting two major faults with the game, honestly. It's how easy it is to completely ignore survivability on every single item slot, because you can just fit 5 uniques worth of damage scaling and still survive somehow. So that's probably an issue. And 2, because you could get these Chaos Uniques so early in progression, and they felt powerful for a very long time, this answers the question of, how come I can't find Dull Dagger or Lenimo, or I can't find Blade Buckle? I can't find these are all Diablo 2 items. I can't find Blood Fist. I can't find Sanders Boots. These really low-level items that are powerful for a very long time, and then you can transition to a more powerful setup. These two things are currently missing in Diablo 2, where itemization actually rewards survivability, so we're not all just glass cannons that can't be killed. And two, having a journey with an item, which is something they've perpetually tried to create. Like, tempering and masterworking is supposed to be a journey you take your item on. That's not really what it is. You just get the item that you want and then brick it, or you get the item, you get the tempers that you want, and then you masterwork it until you run out of materials. Neither of these feel like a good journey. So the game's missing an item journey that matters. That's what Chaos Uniques offered. And if we could distill that down and impregnate actual itemization with that, then you get the thing that you want, and the game continues to be healthy. It's just a bigger lift. So if they're going to bring it back, it's going to be Kanai's Cube, and that kind of pisses me off. But like, it's the easiest way to do it without completely bricking the game. The issue is we're already too strong. I know not everybody feels like that, but
I agree.
anybody who like knows what buttons they're clicking on their keyboard and click half of them can go kill T4 Lilith as long as they have competently built that thing. And I'm not saying gatekeep fun. I'm saying the time to trivialization in Diablo 4 is only like 5 hours longer than the time to trivialize in Diablo 2. And Diablo 2 is literally a game that doesn't have anything other than a campaign. So that's like trying to put it into perspective from like a game dev understanding of the difference in these games. We just trivialize it too fast, and it becomes very meaningless very quickly. And these items are a super accelerant of that reality. You'll get sick of it very quickly, I think.
Yeah, I think, you guys bring up good points about the desire for the Chaos Uniques to stay is the novelty of them, right? They are brand new. It is exciting to play with, but if they are to come back next season, it's then a what are they coming back in addition to? Because it can't be just this, right? It can't just be Chaos Uniques continuously and to be fully sustainable. Because then you have to do Chaos Uniques 2, Chaos Uniques 3, 4, and it goes back to the cycle of like trying to fix things continuously. You're creating another problem to fix down the road. So enjoy it, right? We got a little bit of time left. We can still enjoy all the Chaos
It's
Uniques.
so good. It's so good right now.
Yeah. Have a blast and a half, because they're not gonna last, but that's okay. Like I like what you said before, Macro. Like, this does feel like what a season should be, of like,
yeah,
I want to play this because I know this won't happen again, right? I won't get to experience this particular power set and this particular itemization, so I should soak up while I can. As opposed to, all right, well, it's just gonna be recycled again next season, so it's fine. Yeah, I think that does make the season feel a lot better, right?
Oh,
Feels
you just
good to
made
be
me
a part
realize.
of.
So I don't like the recycled, right? Obviously, new innovative things would be fantastic, right? Recycled powers. I know the whole community's thoughts and feels on that. But please, Blizzard, just do me this one thing. Could you please just continue to recycle Mana Shield in some form or fashion?
We get it.
That would be amazing. I don't think you get it. I have 12 hit points, and this is how I want to live my life, right? I have 12 hit points, and it freaks me out.
I personally like the idea of a mana energy shield for all classes as another defensive option outside of armor.
Do you guys forget? It's in the game, and it has been since its inception, actually.
What?
So the Melted Heart of Selig is a mythic unique amulet that is quite literally energy shield, and it was so good that it made you invincible, so it had to be nerfed. You can play energy shield all the time. You choose not to. You're a coward.
It doesn't.
You're a coward, and that's
for all the melted hearts that I have.
I mean, I suppose that's true. That's true.
But
I did have one little bit of wisdom, and it's to really stop the people from screaming in your comments. These guys don't know what they're talking about. Give me my chaos uniques. Remember that last chaos unique you needed to make your build work? Remember how long it took you to farm? It was like a week or two, right?
I'm
Do you want to
still
do
farming.
that again? Do you want to do that again next season? What about the third season where you need to get exactly this chaos unique in exactly this slot because you're going to have to use the new mythic that comes out? I'm just saying, it seems good now. It's very fun, and it's fun because it will go away, and then we get to experience a new thing. That's the season. It's the new thing that we get to do.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my last little
I also
curmudgeon
think it's
old man
fun.
screaming at clouds.
I think it's fun because of the RNG, though. I think it's fun because you can't just go farm Guy till you get it. Because even if you get it, it might not be the right role on the right piece or the whatever, or the right GAs if you need, whatever. So I think that like the RNG of it and the non again, if you need even mythic uniques, right? They've created ways for us to get those pretty reliably through different farming. So I think that like, and I'm not saying everything should just go back to being completely random and don't worry, because that probably wouldn't feel great. But there's something with the RNG there of chaos uniques that makes it exciting, I think, to where even like I don't have my best in slots. I've got kind of piecemealed stuff together that works really well, and I'm trying to continue to upgrade that. I really need a chess piece Crown of Lucian, Blizzard, so just send me one as soon as possible. But like as I'm kind of going through that process, the fun part is dropping a quad affix Fist of Fate and be like, I mean, fuck it, let's full send, right? Let's just go, let's just see what happens here. It's super, super fun, and I think that there's so much enjoyment to be found in Diablo 4 in that way that people don't, because so much of ARPGs, not just Diablo, but all ARPGs, has become click button to guide, follow someone else's build, and don't think with your brain ever. Thinking with your brain is why I like games.
Not for me. Overrated. So have you heard Macro like talk about numbers before? Like, he knows his shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hey, real quick, just to talk about what Nerd said there. It is perfectly valid and fulfilling, and you're still a real gamer at heart, even if you would like to check out one of my guides for some inspiration. There's a lot of math you don't want to do, and you are definitely smart enough to figure this out, but you're trying to game. And you know what gets in the way of your gaming? Not having a build guide. Hi, I'm MarcroBioBoi.
Hey, I use those guides too. I will say I do use those guides too. But
Thank you.
pivoting's fun.
Yeah, I mean,
it is fun.
I'm not going to. I trust others. I believe them. I believe in the fine folks at Maxroll to guide me along, and they haven't steered me wrong yet. Speaking of our kickbacks, though, you talked about that earlier, Macro. One thing we didn't talk about, as Diablo partners, we were gifted the StarCraft skins, and I'm just gonna say they're pretty legit. Like,
dude, I'm walking around here as my necromancer. They turned me, the necromancer, my little willow stick, skinny little skeleton girl. They turned me into a predator, like from Predator, but StarCraft, homie. It's just me and my little buddies out there killing it. Even like the banners looked cool. Like, I know nobody cares about banners, right? Except for the people who do. Completely valid. But even those are cool. They made it like look in-game enough where it's not like the Spectral Tiger in World of Warcraft when that first came out, where it's just like, what is this ghost tiger? What does that mean? And then eventually the ghost tiger would be the least, you get to ride a literal dinosaur. But like, dude, the skins are good. And they also, at least for like a lot of the people like myself who are like actively streaming and stuff like that, they gave us a ton of those to be able to give out to the community as well. That is like one of the benefits, right? It's that we kind of do this work with them, and then we get to at least save some money in some wallets for some people, which I always really appreciate. Dude, those skins are badass, dude.
Pretty cool.
I'm not really like a buy a skin kind of person. I'm just not, please don't cut my contract, Blizzard. People ask me like, oh, have you seen the shop? And I'm like, why would I ever look at the shop? But these skins, dude, I was just like, touche, touche. You got me on these ones, man. These ones are good.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with original Warcraft and StarCraft, so seeing them there, like the Warcraft skins, I think it was pre-partner program, or no, we were in the partner program. They didn't give them to us. So I did end up buying with the the myriad of platinum that I had. A few of those, but like this one, I was like, yes, please. The druid looks amazing with the corrupted Zerg Terran Marine. That's just fun to walk around.
Oh yeah.
And then the Zergling mount in tandem with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so cool. It's so cool.
It's just insanely cool. But the thing that I always like, because I was like a massive WoW player for the longest time. Like by the time I was 21, I had a year's worth of hours logged into World of Warcraft. And I didn't just like sit in Orgrimmar on my mount. I was actively mostly grinding reps because I was a lunatic and trying to go for the insane title eventually. But what I loved it because like obviously like they have fell hunters in World of Warcraft and that's Zerglings. There's no other way to refer to them. And that's what made it feel like very immersive in me. I was just like, you know what? The Zerg really can be in any fantasy setting. They're just scary. They're scary bug dudes, and you can put them everywhere. But I think that they did just a badass job. Like it sounds like we're trying to sell these skins.
Really,
we're not. We're just like just excited nerds. Like these things are just cool, and it's cool to see. The Berserk collab was. I'll be honest with you. I didn't read or watch Berserk. I don't care. Yeah. They're like, dude, it's Berserk. I'm like, I agree. I read Fruits Basket in 8th grade because a girl I liked read it. Leave me alone. That was my introduction to manga. And I was like, sure, it's an IP collab. It's Berserk, whatever. Right. And they're like, second IP collab. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get Doom or something.
Yeah,
and
Doom
like, nah, dude, StarCraft, and it fucks. And I was like, oh, damn, okay, hell yeah.
Yeah, this does sound like a very long commercial for these skins. They are still $28. They are still a decent chunk of money. It is not something that's needed. Yeah. But if you have the platinum, if you've got the platinum sitting there, which I think, courtesy of the old battle pass, you would have a decent chunk. In fact, that's where most of my platinum is from the old battle pass. I think I would have been hard pressed not to purchase at least one with it if it was just sitting there. If I had to pull out my wallet, find my card, no. But if I had the platinum there, yeah, I would have done that. So that was a nice way to lift them up and bring them down simultaneously. I think we did good work there, guys. Like, yeah, the artists, I think everybody did an amazing job, but pricing. So
I mean, it makes sense, right? The art's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just. Mm-hmm. Oh, the battle pass has been a massive point of contention. It was a problem that didn't need to be fixed. It was totally fine the way it was. You were never earning the same amount back, but you were still earning some that you could use to either buy the new battle pass or save up for skins. And now it is just not, it doesn't work. And frequent complaint. I've got to push too many damn buttons to actually access it. Yeah. Yeah. You shouldn't have said anything. But I do think it is, I think the devs listen. I think they have heard the feedback. I just think it is slow going. But until it gets fixed, we should just keep saying shit because it sucks. It is the worst battle pass imaginable. And well, I guess it could get worse, but don't make it worse. Right, exactly. It doesn't need to be that awful for this game. Um, no, right. Well, yeah. It's also we had one that worked, so
Mhm.
we didn't need this. It was fine, but we changed things. Which in some ways is a legacy of Vessel of Hatred, and that, gentlemen, is a transition.
That was
Um,
a perfect segue. I got to say, I
Great
did not
job.
know how we were going
thank
to
you.
get there. That was
Like,
beautiful.
how do we get from point A to point B? It's these beautiful transitions. So it has been a year. It has been over a year since Vessel of Hatred came out. Think back to release date. Think back to Macro. I mean, you were involved in the introduction of Vessel of Hatred. You were involved in the introduction of the Spiritborn. You have graced our. Were you on the BattleNet the day Vessel launched?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it was a rotation of the people who were there
Right.
for the premiere, if I'm not mistaken. So
Right. So like you've had a year ago you were having a great year. Everybody was pretty pumped. Everybody was pretty excited. Um, and now we've landed with I think a different look at what the expansion had. We still don't know about the next expansion, gentlemen. The timeline initially was an expansion every year, and here we
crazy.
are.
I'm talking about it. Just
I
quit.
know. No,
Stop.
we have
It's not real.
we, expansion 2 is hinted, but we know nothing about it. Um, and we've got time to look back on Vessel of Hatred. So let's go back to the beginning. What did Vessel do right? Let's focus on the good stuff. What did Vessel do right over the course of this year? So we've had a year. It's had its little legacy. What is the highlight of Vessel of Hatred? I can look to we can look to Reaper of Souls for Diablo 3. We can look to Lord of Destruction for Diablo 2, and it's easy to point to the highlights there. Those were major marquee game-changing expansions. What does Vessel have? Because I think it's going to be harder than by comparing the other two.
It has the Undercity, and it's funny. Like Nerva's like, oh, dude, I love the Undercity. I hate I am not I am let me say it a different way. I'm not particularly passionate doing my sixth Undercity run in a row where
Sure.
where every single monster dies immediately. I click the buttons, and because I'm a min maxer, I do go looking for a goblin, and it is just a waste of 15 seconds. And then the boss pops even on T4, and then I open up the chest, and it's an average output of the things that I wanted, and also it seems like the bargains still don't quite work exactly how you would expect them to.
Yeah.
And they cost 50 million gold, and
Yeah.
you only click 2 of them because it's fun. It's not to sell the expansion short, because one of the things that's like really interesting to me is Nahantu is a very cool region. The legions in Nahantu are significantly more interesting than the legions not in Nahantu. The dungeons are more interesting, but not in a way that really fosters a better gameplay experience. Like, they have secrets that you can find in the dungeon that get you additional loot for the people who want to explore. I don't want to, but people do, and that is very cool. I think one of the coolest strongholds that they have is the one in the top left, where you have to kill all the pots of poison because the dudes are gonna, I don't know, nuke Nahantu with poison, and then you fight 2 bosses that feel like they're ripped out of Borderlands, and it's like a bullet hell where you have 2 guys and one of them enrages when you kill the other one. I'm like, where was all of this in the rest of the game? They have that really awesome like stronghold that's actually like a bit of a necromancer lore teaser, where you go and you clear it out, and they're like, this is the citadel of the necromancers. Once we get this bad boy cleaned up, we'll let you in, boss. We'll let you know. Oh, that smith over there, that's my skeleton buddy. And I'm like, this is such amazing flavor and like really colors the gameplay experience, but I have no reason to go to Nahantu. And I don't really like running the dungeons because they're all weird anthills. And the Undercity is very cool for the people who really like it. I think that the Dark Citadel is actually a very cool thing. You just have to have more than one person to do it. And not a lot of people know this. They have an elixir in there that is a defensive elixir that grants you 5% damage reduction. So technically speaking, that's best in slot for pit pushing. People just don't go get it, but eventually, like, we will need that. So, like, there you go. That's a little hint for you. So it brought all this cool thing to the game and then left it in this one part of the world map that's just kind of slightly inconvenient to go to, and didn't transform the part of the game that we're kind of sitting in enough for me. So that's kind of like the legacy of the expansion. We got a new class in the Undercity for target farming some stuff.
And this is so funny because my immediate reaction is to go in the opposite direction altogether and to talk about the story. Because for me, that's really like what stuck. Like, Diablo is Diablo. Every Diablo is about grinding and killing monsters, either in dungeons or in an Undercity or whatever it happens to be for loot, right? Kill bosses for loot. What's always set Diablo apart for me from other games is my love for the world and what they've done in it. And I know that people were not all very positive on the story for Vessel, but I quite liked the story for Vessel. I think that it fell into some pitfalls that weren't great, but I loved like the idea of like watching, like with Diablo 2, we watched the following of the Wanderer and what he left in his wake. In Diablo 3, we watched the world corrupt around us as we follow Neyrelle. So it was kind of like the same chase, but a closer perspective to the world corrupting. And I thought that was well done. I thought Erdvar was set up very well. I feel like they didn't stick the landing on his character. The fight was cool, but that character, they could have built up to be a much longer term villain. And I'm in. He was scary. The mask was fucking crazy. Like, it was.
Dude, he smoked.
Bro, right?
He smoked demon cigars.
Right.
That's cool.
So badass. And I liked Wolfisto. I just think if we had a true Mephisto fight to follow, it would have been better. But Wolfisto was a really cool fight. Watching like Akarat, like, spoiler alert, I guess. I should probably say that. Surely.
At this point.
Right. Well, I care, right? So like,
if you're
just, like,
tuning into this podcast and you did not finish, like,
it's on you, dog.
Yeah,
It's on you, yeah. But that's
assumed.
like, for me, I love that we got to see like a physical form of Akarat. That's fucking dope. Like, that's so cool. There's just so many cool moments that happened. I just think they really, it's almost like when you're kind of like, it'd be like playing Wrath of the Lich King and finishing Lich King, and you don't kill him, he's still the bad guy for the next expansion. It's kind of the same thing. We got that kind of like interpersonal relationship with Mephisto through the normal campaign, and then we're chasing him through the second campaign, but we didn't feel like we got that kill, which you shouldn't. It's Mephisto. Fuck us. Like, we don't deserve that kill. It's Mephisto, right? Like, he should live on. Please do. You are the goat. That said, I think there's more payoff there, right? So I think overall, like, I love I do like the Nahantu region. Not super into the jungle stuff, but I for me the story sticks, and I enjoyed it.
Sorry, I was just pointing at Mephisto's Soulstone, but you
Oh,
can't
okay.
see
That's,
because
I couldn't tell what you were pointing at, but okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Let
mine's
me
back
very
too.
quickly jump off of those two things, because I do agree with you. And there were a lot of people who are just like, F this story, I hate Narelle. She's a woman and she's talking too much. And I'm
So
like,
cool.
I was like, I don't know, maybe sit with that and like really examine it. But
Right, she was awesome.
I played through the story the first time. I got to the end, and my reaction was just like, what,
Yeah.
like what legitimately happened? Why'd he do that? What does that even really mean? How is Akarat going to lead people astray? I'm just going to walk outside and go, by the way, that's Mephisto. Like, so much of it kind of made no sense at all. And I was just like, sure, I guess that happened. And then I immediately, I just went, cool, started a new character, played the campaign again, which I know sounds insane, but hear me out.
That's what we do here, Macro. Me and Nine
when
Ball,
you
at least.
when you stop and you look at the story beats that it's giving you, a lot of it makes a lot more sense. The motivation makes a lot more sense. How many like basically what happened for me was I kept going, oh yeah, I guess the story, like the plot driver, has to move forward, so I guess that makes sense. And when you step back and realize that the story is kind of preying on the fact that yeah, sure, you're cool with that, the story has to move forward, but these characters are people, and to them it's not a story. To them, like, this dude's like, is that my Jesus? And is the evil, like, the evil corporation says that it wants to poison the world for profit, is telling me that it won't poison my world for profit? I'm willing to sacrifice you all for my life to be better. A very like normal human thing when you're put under pressure like that. The people who are willing to help, and I forget his name at this point, I'm very sorry, but the primary Nahantu character driver, all of it, like, it mattered so much more than what you, the player, would have thought about it, because you're a god slayer, so who cares to you? And the other thing, the only thing that really bugged me was Urivar did not put in enough work for Urivar to deserve the badassness that he had, but it's because they very clearly cut out half of his story. Like, if you look at the actions, it goes, Urivar's a major character, he thinks he kills you, you're down in Nahantu, and then he shows up and he's like, what are you doing for the world? And I'm like, we don't have a relationship like that. Like, where did this develop?
Yeah.
And then you kill him and he's like, I'm just trying to do my version of good, which is like the perfect like lawful good paladin, but he's actually evil. Yeah. Which is the only cool way to do lawful good paladin. It's Urivar's story got something cut out of it that made that not quite transition well enough, but he was like the first severely cool mortal that was an issue for us. And then the actual story, again with the guy whose name I can't remember, so I guess, read into that what you will, was cool. Wolf Mephisto is a cool fight. I get it. Diablo's not in the game. And in this expansion, we didn't kill a primeval. I get it. I really, really do. I get why you want that.
It was Eru, by the way.
Eru, thank you.
Yep. I had to look it up too. I forgot.
It has to be okay for us to explore other vectors of the eternal conflict in a Diablo game, or Diablo 2's Resurrected season just launched like a week back. You could just go back to killing Mephisto a million times. I'm not trying to be like super like gatekeepy about it, but like it does have to be cool for us to explore other stuff. I've already played this game. I've already killed these primevals.
Yeah.
It's cool to do other stuff. And we know we're going to kill him in the next. Come on, we're going to kill him in the next. This isn't some secret I know. They literally set up, okay, he's coming back as Jesus, and he's going to be the false prophet, right? He's going to be the beast. We are experiencing the end times of like biblical folklore. And we get
we're experiencing the church in the Sin War. Like literally what happened with his son, with Lucian. Like that's literally what he did.
Yeah.
3,000 years ago, right? So I agree with you. Like
if it worked once, it can work again.
Sure, but be careful hitting the same beat though, right? Give us other
exactly.
bits. I know I'm 100% with you. Yeah, that would be sick. And I think that's the problem with Vessel, is that like it started and built really well. I remember playing the story in the beginning, was like, oh god, this is sick. Urvar's amazing. Like all these characters are awesome. I thought Avery was really cool. Narelle was wonderful. But then it was like a big chunk. It's almost like they had big eyes, and then they got through the project. We're like, oh crap, we don't have enough time to do all this story. Maybe we need to cut these things short a little bit. I don't know. But the voice work, the music's incredible. Like the the Vessel of Hatred music is absolutely insane too.
We're not kids anymore, right? Not everybody is going to learn the Matt Ulamane that made this music. I play the OST for the base game and for Vessel of Hatred on repeat on my stream. It's just missing a steel string guitar, and then it would be Tristram. Like
sure.
It's very, very good. Yeah,
yep.
All of it was like very good.
Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, but I mean, look, I think Undercity's cool. I think it's cool because I don't chain run it. To kind of come back to that, is I usually run it when it's a whisper, right? Hit it when it's a whisper real quick, run whichever one I want to run real quick, and then go back to doing whatever else I'm doing. As a one-off, it's great. If I sat there and did it all day, I'd probably get old. I like the arcadey feel of it. It breaks up things a little differently. It's fun in that regard, and I love the Dark Citadel. I wish there was more implemented with it. Like me and my friends were doing it, and then it was like, oh, we've got all the rewards. Why would we keep doing it? Right? Like I would love more content like that, but I also understand that that's not the typical draw for an ARPG player. So probably kind of a little bit like a fish out of water type scenario. But it was fun the first time through, and I like taking new people through it. And showing them the different mechanics, because it's pretty cool the stuff they can do. They could really have some fun with some of the game mechanics, when allowed to have fun with those game mechanics. I think the legacy of Vessel of Hatred was overpromise and underdeliver. In a nutshell, I think from a gameplay standpoint, I think from a story standpoint, it started strong, it felt strong, and then as you got through it, it felt hollow in bits that really were a little too glaring for most, I think. But music's dope as fuck all the way through, and the story was good enough for me to keep playing it. So there we go.
To kind of come back on the story from doing the press review, getting and playing about a week early, right? A week, 2 weeks. I thought there was a part that was missing. I thought they were holding the real ending for release. Like when it just ended, and it's a beautifully done cinematic, but like, oh wait, that's it, this is done now. That felt sour. It just didn't feel like I had concluded something. And I think I loved the ending of base Diablo 4. I loved the like, okay, we are using the Soul Stone and we are departing, like that callback to original Diablo 1, but done differently. Like that felt good. But this just did not sit for me.
Sure.
And like I like the overpromise under deliver, because there were so many other things I still want to know. Like when it comes to this story, I just want to know what happened to our Diablo 3 character, right?
We all do.
Oh, yeah.
We all do.
Like that has been my big question since Diablo 4 was announced, is I want to see how you tie the thread of Diablo 3. Like how do you do that? Because it's complicated. And even if it's messy, I just want to see it. I just want to see that.
Can you very quickly educate me? Because I didn't play Reaper of Souls. Is there anything in Malthael's like whole scheme that disempowers the Nephilim? Like,
No.
is there like a restricting of the Nephilim's power in some meaningful way?
No, he meant to consume them. So he didn't try to take their power. He just wanted to kill them all. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your character at the end is a god, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't have an answer for where a Nephilim is. We don't actually have a conclusive answer of where Tyrael is, right? Like, not actually, which like still doesn't make sense. I was like, dude, we're going back to like Nahantu. We're going back to Kurast.
Right?
going to
Yeah.
the Durance
Tyrael better be here.
in the Zaka room, he
No.
better be like, "Hey guys, how's it going? I got 15 paladins with me," and
Right.
the visor, he's smoking a cigar, the visor drops, and they stim pack and cut their way through. I know he's mortal now. Who cares? So, like, where is Tyrael? Lorath just leaving really didn't feel good. That Lorath's like, and now you have Nerel, and probably we couldn't. I don't know. The voice actor didn't want to do a whole other expansion. I don't know.
I
like,
get Galactus money, so
yeah, he's
right.
busy being Galactus. He ain't interested.
Right. And I don't have any like behind the scenes on that, but yeah, there was just to the people who had like, hey, this wasn't great. I do get it. Like I do sincerely get it. That cinematic with Mephisto rising as Akarat and the disciples of Akarat's just melting under the raw corruption of Mephisto is going to go down in history as one of the best cinematics in a video game. I think actually, like,
so good. Yeah.
Like top 20 cinematics in a video game if you just experience what it's trying to deliver. And I'm good with waiting for the next expansion. Like I played it the second way through. I went, that's cool. I'll see you next expansion. And this better be dope. And it also better make sense that I don't just walk outside and ring the bell. So I assume we're going to a different land where Akarat, like, I wouldn't be able to get over there and immediately spread the word. And I assume that Akarat is able to build up a faux, I don't know, some kind of like new fake corrupted light boys. And then, I don't know. It's like something's going to have to happen with it. But like, yeah, there are holes. And that does stink because, and hear me out here, Diablo games have not been that deep. Ever?
Yep.
No.
That nuanced ever? Unraveling the story of Lazarus and like finding out who, like, why Diablo actually was able to inhabit a body. That was a cool story. It's also, that same story has been told roughly 1 million times. The evil vizier steals the kid and does evil magic. Yeah, that's a thing. The story has never really had an opportunity to be this developed and breathe this much. And I think it's a growing pain. I'd rather them try new stuff than just give me Diablo 2 with better graphics or Diablo 3 with less cartoony graphics. Maybe I'm in the minority, but that's where I kind of ended up on it.
I agree. I think the most exciting part of Diablo 4 being a live service was the perspective of there being continuous story added in like a World of Warcraft. Obviously not to the same scale, but that's the other part too that we haven't talked about, that I think part of the legacy of Vessel's story has to be credited to the seasons that have followed and the story that has followed those seasons. And I think like Season of the Construct had some amazing lore, especially about the Vizjeri, which is the coolest mage clan in Diablo. I mean, they're dope, right? There were so many cool little bits of stuff we got from seasons that I know were seasonal stuff. Most people probably just zoomed through it, didn't even pay attention. But there's cool stuff happening. Like Bartok is back, bro. Like the whole chaos vibe is so cool. And that fight is pretty cool until you trivialize it, right? But before when it's not trivial, it's really fun. So yeah, I think that there is some, like you said, please keep trying even if you fail. Please keep trying and give us, maybe even go wider on your swings with things that you want to try that are new. I think it's great. I would love to see innovation. I think that like just continual fan service, we've learned from many other IPs that exist in the world that have done the same in the last decade, of just like eventually the fans go, yo dude, like can we just like think with our brains and do something different for once? Yeah.
There's a really interesting, sorry to keep just like bloviating on this topic. I have very strong feelings. There a lot of, and this isn't, hey, you the consumer, you're the reason why it's bad. No, like get past that. A lot of the vocal feedback that the community has given, even since the game's inception, has been purity. You promised me you'd give me Diablo 2, give me Diablo 2. We never got our sequel. And this game has to be the sequel to so many different so many different strata of the fan base of this game. It needs to be the sequel to Diablo 1. It needs to be a sequel to Diablo 2. It needs to be a sequel to Diablo 3. It has to be the good game in comparison to Diablo Immortal. it has to be the first thing delivering on the promise of the genre and also the franchise simultaneously. Every time that the developers have said, we hear you purists, we're going to be as pure as possible. And then they went, are they not looking? All right, let's try something new. Has been, I feel like every time that the game has gotten better. So when they started doing seasonal quest lines, people were like, well, wait a minute. If I don't want to play the seasonal thing, I shouldn't be missing out on story. You can't have meaningful story in the seasons because only in expansions. And they're like, you are so right. We're not going to have meaningful story. Varshan is just a guy and he's there and you have a guy you don't care about, you've never seen ever again. And he tried to cure Varshan and now Varshan is this. The moment that the seasonal quest lines weren't moving super major story pieces forward, but were answering questions and were developing story, was immediately better. Like you said, people zoom through the quest line immediately. I think this is the first season where I didn't stop and listen to every single voice line, because one, this story just felt a little bit more fun, and also there's like 18 fetch quests at the end of it. I don't know what was up with that.
A lot
That was
of
they're like she's like
It's a
run
lot.
over there. Go get my parcel from Pallet Town and then bring it back and I'll give you 10 Pokeballs. And I was like, okay, Professor Oak, what are we doing here? But her voice lines were awesome through all of it. She did like a Wanderer, I know what you're doing like line. I was like, oh, that's such a great, callback to our favorite NPC. But they really have been putting a lot of very cool story in the seasonal quest lines that matter to the world, that are answering questions about what's going on in the world. Like, we have these demon people here. What are the Triune up to? And how did they deal with the fact that Lilith died? Like, what did they care about Lilith? Were they trying to get in with Lilith? Did they see Lilith as a bad guy? Like, what happened there? And there's like, oh, hey, Triune, they're pissed out there, dude, and still real and doing stuff. And it's like, oh, cool, thank you. They've been doing really well with adding in story beats there. And I think it was the moment that they said, like, hey, if you don't play a season and don't learn the story, that's on you. I guess read a Wikipedia about it. I don't know. I thought that was a good choice, and it just kind of feeds into the same cycle of just like, keep doing stuff, keep saying, you know what? We made this. Do you like this? You can have it. There you go.
Yeah.
I think it's a good move.
When it makes the world feel scary, right? Like knowing these different threats have come up, and yeah, there's seasonal quests and all that, but it has felt like since we vanquished Mephisto, these other things have happened, and it all just feels like, even if it's just a seasonal mechanic, that there's thoughtfulness in place enough to give us additional information about the world, about factions in the world, governments in the world, religions in the world, and then also make us excited, right, to what might happen in the future. Because like, how does the Triune, like you said, come back later, right? Very cool. Yeah, I think it's unsung, and I appreciate it. So all you guys out there writing quests, someone's reading them and listening to them. We love them.
That would be people like Harrison Pink, who joined us 6 months ago. Per Harrison's request, I read the First Law trilogy, which by Joe Abercrombie. One of the best endings in fantasy literature, and I totally get a lot of Diablo 4 now. So
Interesting.
if you have not read it, Macro, have you read it? Okay. So I'm not giving homework. I do that for a job, right? But I definitely get the story better, and a lot of like the side quests and stuff like that. I can see the inspiration, and I cannot recommend it any more than that. So if you are liking the story, as Macro and Nerdwards are kind of extolling here, I would recommend taking a deep dive into them. They're pretty, I don't want to say quick reads. They're about 500 a pop, but they move quickly. I think Abercrombie's a very good fantasy writer. I would say Sanders, like, I'm gonna derail us a little bit, but I would say Abercrombie is like Hemingway, and Sanderson is like is like Fitzgerald.
Okay.
Abercrombie's gonna give you these details succinctly, and they're gonna feel weighty with each sentence, where Sanderson is going to have a more flowery language and kind of detail out the room for 3 pages. Both very good at
God.
what they
So
do.
where does Tolkien rank on the spectrum? We need to take this offline
Yeah.
at some point. I need to
Yeah,
know that.
probably.
Well, so then we're looking for like I'm trying to give like American author parallels. Tolkien is Tolkien. Like there is no other. Like why even compare it? He is just what he is. Nobody
That's
else
fair.
is inventing their own languages. He was a master linguist. I mean, like is a scholar around Beowulf. Like that dude. I have a lot of respect
I was
for.
just curious because you thought Brandon Sanderson was flowery. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you think
Well, yeah,
Tolkien
hold
is?
on.
Is he like a whole goddamn garden?
Yeah, he's like I did, just to very quickly nerd out, I did very recently hear Tolkien had done a reading of the Rohirrim answering the call of Gondor when they first crest the hill, and they like look over the siege. And fun fact, he doesn't accent in the way that I would have if I was doing a dramatic reading, but hearing Tolkien himself read the moment that the Rohirrim of Rohan crest the hill, and Theoden is giving them the speech of, "We are going to die today, and we are going to see, we are going to see the destruction of the world. The sun has crested, and it is time to ride." Like that's not exactly what he says, but like that concept. I'm just over here, a grown ass 35-year-old man with some PTSD or something, just crying watching a TikTok. I'm just
amazing.
Like, oh my god,
Yeah, I need to check that out.
God, it's so good. I watch that every once in a while, where I just need to motivate to not only put the laundry in, but also then take it out and fold it.
Fold
I
it, put it
listen to
away.
that,
Sure,
and I'm
sure.
like, thank you, Tolkien. I appreciated that. I did
Hell
need to hear
yeah.
Theoden see that.
They did a tour of his early drafts and his letters, and it stopped by Marquette University here in Milwaukee. And they did a D&D session around it. So my kid and his friends were signed up, but they were playing D&D, all surrounded by all of Tolkien's original drafts and manuscripts, and I got to go around and look at them. And there is a point in one of the drafts for Return of the King that Tolkien became so emotional that he literally wept, and there are tear stains on the page, and he makes mention of it in a letter. So like that's why they are marked. He in one of his letters he mentions how he became so emotional and what he was writing. And if I had a better memory, I could tell you what it was, whether it was Sam's acceptance of Frodo and the quest, or was it I really want to look it up because I don't want to mess it up. But he became so emotional in his own fictional world to weep literal tears.
The goat.
Yeah.
Goat.
The goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Absolutely
doesn't.
goated.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. So good.
Before
Good
you
on you,
before you
Tolkien.
make fun of this, before you make fun of this like random English dude like crying over his own fanfic for all intents and purposes, that man fought and
World War
bled
II.
in World War One.
That was one. Yeah.
Yeah, World War One, and then went on to write the greatest piece of like fantasy literature that has inspired every single thing that you've ever played or loved. So don't make fun of him. All right, the dude's a goat. He is the goat. It's not even close. You can get a degree in thinking about the words he wrote. So that's pretty cool, man.
That's true.
In his free time, he invented languages. Right, like.
And I tried to learn them
before the internet, guys.
Right.
That's what people did for fun. Right now, you're flipping through TikTok. Right. It's still finding about Tolkien, ironically, but flipping through TikTok could be writing your own language.
That's true.
Think about that next time you're doom scrolling.
But coming back to it, I mean, obviously the first law, great inspiration on the story, and then can give you a little bit of insight into what we are seeing, and I'd be curious how much it will impact things kind of going forward.
Yeah.
So we have danced around it kind of like a halfway answer on the like what is the legacy in the good, but then we've also been the bad. It was touched on a while ago. I think one of the I don't know. I'm gonna grab a couple pieces and I'm gonna bounce them off of you in terms of like what the legacy is. You already talked a little bit about Dark Citadel. Let's kind of explore it as a full thing. What is the legacy of Dark Citadel? Does that on the precipice of a new expansion? Nothing's been added to Dark Citadel since it started, right? Is this something that moves forward, or is this something that is lost to just this expansion?
I sure hope so. And I will say, there was nothing added to Dark Citadel. There was a party finder added to the game, which does change your ability and willingness to participate in the Dark Citadel. It does just turn out that it seems like the majority of the player base of Diablo in particular, and as it has significant overlap with PoE and the player base of PoE as well, and now to that same end, Last Epoch, it really seems like this fan base of this subgenre of ARPGs are very much wallflowers and are very much not interested in engaging with other people, which I totally get. The thing that's kind of funny, though, is that I do believe that that's a vocal minority because of how many people are like, so many people play this game with other people, and you just don't hear about the ones who are like, oh, we do the Dark Citadel once a week just to get the cash. Because why would you ever talk about that? Why would you ever be like, I did the Dark Citadel this week. I should go make a Reddit post. I should go tell people about it. No, you're just like, oh, cool, I got my cash and I spent my things and I got some goblins or whatever. The only reason why I think it was okay that they got rid of the gauntlet is because they couldn't solve the bugs with the gauntlet, and it was a really bad showing for the game. But the gauntlet itself, I think, was a very good content type that was very cool. I want them to keep doing experimental stuff. Until they added it in here, Infernal Hordes was experimental content. A Hordes mode in an ARPG makes sense. We just didn't have one in the Diablo series yet. And then we got this one, and it turns out a lot of people really like it, and it's
really
cool.
good. It's really good.
It's really cool. It's very fun to do. It's nice to be able to turn off your brain and just kill stuff in a circle and feel like you're making decisions. That's very cool. I think that the legacy of the Citadel is, if they're going to add stuff in this again, it does just have to have a single player version of it. And then people will onboard and then explore it in a multiplayer sense. Or they never have to, but at least the content gets played and that development time wasn't wasted. That's what the legacy is. I think a learning experience, and hopefully not a disincentivization of ever exploring that anymore, because I wish I was playing World of Diablo. I know not everybody doesn't. I get that. I'm biased. I love World of Warcraft. I love Diablo. It'd be cool to do both of those things. And so I hope that's the takeaway. I think for a lot of people, just like KEKW, that existed. I'm like, no, man, it was like cool to like when my buddy didn't get to that fast enough and I died and we laughed because it was like, oh my God, what are we trying to do here? And, oh, it was just, this dude didn't know what the mechanic was. There's something about that experience that, as long as you're having it with a group of people that you can enjoy it with, is so, it magnifies what it felt like back when I was 16 and just sitting in a room with me, my buddy, and my other buddy on a laptop, and we were all doing bail runs, and one of them was a necro. It was me. It was actually me and my buddy were necros. And we were just like, screw this wave. It's all bone walls. And that's just funny. And it's just cool to do that every once in a while and have a reason to. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Not in public games though, with random people that don't know you're doing it. That's rude, and you shouldn't do
That's
it.
rude.
It's really
You shouldn't do that.
Yeah. But with your friends, totally fine to fuck with them because that's awesome.
But maybe do it every couple of games just to keep them on their toes. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. No, I would agree. Right. I really want them to continue trying in that space, especially with Dark Citadel. I was in a place where I was doing those caches for the first like month and a half, and I was like, okay, they're literally not adding anything at all. I've got all the cosmetics, whatever. Same thing with the PvP stuff. I spent a lot of time doing that at launch. I had a lot of fun with it, even though it was super busted in one way or another. But you get all the cosmetics, and then it was just like, cool, I'll just hang out here. Now no one wants PvP, right? It's so hard to find people out there. So yeah, like I agree. it's hard to really grade it without knowing data. Like I would love to know how many people participated in the Dark Citadel ever. And because like I don't, what's the target demographic for that, right? Like I had a like a theory for a long time that like they did that because there's so many people that got Diablo 3 for subscribing to WoW for a year, right? It severely boosted their numbers for the game, looked great, drove a lot more players to the game, but that also diversified the Diablo fan base quite a bit with Diablo 3, in I think positive ways. I'm also a WoW fan like you, Macro, so I love World of Warcraft as well. But then with Diablo 4, it became a lot of conversation about what do you do at the end game? What do you do? What do you do? Like, how do I make challenging content? And I think this was an answer to challenge your characters without just number go bigger in a way that was interesting and fun. But the development it takes to do something like this, especially like every season or every couple seasons, is probably a lot. Like I can imagine like coming up with new puzzles and bosses and shit to make it interesting and fun. And this game doesn't have the revenue that World of Warcraft does. But I think this was like a, hey, if we do something like this, can we pull those classic Andys, the WoW player? Can we make the WoW player like the PvE content of Diablo in a way that feels very organic to them? And does that see a transition into the space? I think in that regard, it was unsuccessful because I don't hear people talking about it, or else I would, right? If there was a bunch of WoW players who were like, yo, this was the sickest like PvE content, I want more of this, I'd play more of this, but there's no one saying that really that I've ever heard. I have fun with it. I thought it was cool. I wish they do more, and I hope they do. But I hope that they don't feel like this is a failed experiment because I feel like it wasn't enough playing in that space to give up on it yet.
I think there's also the couch co-op demographic that only very recently got a severe bump, right? Like the amount of new people that have come on because of like PlayStation Network and Xbox, whatever pass, actually offering the game to people. The thing is, you do need to get the expansion after that. So all the people who just got onboarded from it being available, like what's very interesting from the space that I'm at, I basically sit in front of a screen, I'm doing things, and I just get asked questions for 8 hours a day. That's my job. That's what I do at the end of it all. And the amount of questions that I was getting that were like, when the game first came out questions, and it's weird because it's been so long since I've had to answer them, I kept being like, how did you get here? And they're like, dude, it's on PlayStation Network, so I'm just playing. Does Necro do cool stuff? And I'm like, hey man, welcome to 2 years into the game. You're sure onboarding at an interesting time. Those people just onboarded. They're playing some casual hours after they get home. Maybe they're a little bit inebriated because life's hard and capitalism sucks. And it's like them and their roommate, or them and their partner, or them and the person they finally convinced to start playing games. And when they get the expansion, they're like, oh, there's this literally made for me and my buddy sitting on a couch to do together game mode. Oh, maybe I could go explore that. Those people haven't all gotten the expansion yet. And because it's not super, like it's not in meta descriptions, it's not like, oh, and then go do the Dark Citadel to unlock this Reforge scroll, and then they're gonna discover it. And I think that's one of the biggest demographics that this really calls to, because Diablo 3, a major part of its success, as far as I understand it, was how couch co-opable it was for a very casual new introductee to the game. I worked with people in a tech company before I started going full-time streamer, where they literally weren't gamers, and they weren't gamers. They didn't know what Diablo 1 was about, but they did have, they did have an Xbox, or they did have was Diablo 3 on Switch? I actually don't remember if Diablo 3 was on Switch.
Diablo 3 was.
Was it on Wii, or it's on Switch?
It's on Switch.
It was on Switch. Yeah.
Not on Wii though.
It was not on Wii. Okay. They had one of those, and they're like, oh, I need a game to play, and it was like on super mega sale or whatever, and they booted it up and like, oh, this is fun. It is cool. We're both on the screen. We're blasting. It's all colorful. That's a huge part of the player base, even though we all think that we're just like gamers who've been playing since floppy disks were shoved into floppy drives. And it's like, nah, dude, actually the majority of people who play this game are like hyper mega casual and just sit on a couch and play the game, and they take screenshots of their TV and upload it to Reddit when they have a question. that's like exactly who the Dark Citadel is for in my mind.
Yeah,
they just haven't
sure.
discovered it yet. And maybe that could be a pull if it continued to be explored in the expansion.
Well, and the boom of co-op games too, right? Like It Takes Two, Split Fiction, like all these games that have like popped off that are made as two-player experiences. I didn't think about that either. That had to have had some inclination to that too. Like you're right. Like my girlfriend plays on console, right? She's probably up there playing right now. We don't play together typically because we have very different play styles, right? But like the fact that I could go run her through Dark Citadel actually just got me really excited. So that's pretty cool.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I don't think you can couch co-op Dark Citadel because you are tethered to each other, and at one point you have to
No, you can split off. Yeah, you can.
But you would
if you're
need
in
to
a
go
different
split
instance.
screen. Yeah, because there are multiple points where you have to be. Think of the one fight where you go in the spirit realm and you have the other one that stays back. You can't do that on couch co-op because you have to share the same screen.
So right. I think that was like a major complaint about it, right?
Yeah, I don't. And
oh my God.
There's another one.
I thought it would.
No, like because I think I tried to do that with my son. We tried to play and we couldn't because he couldn't branch off. Because I was like, oh yeah, this is fun stuff. Because I remember having played it on the press beta of like, yeah, getting in and doing these kind of crazy fights. Yeah, I believe you can't couch co-op Dark Citadel.
Oh my God, you're actually so right. I forgot that was okay.
Well, that's a huge bummer then.
This makes me look like an absolute loser who's never played this game. But you're so right. That was like a major complaint about it. Oh, dicks.
Yeah, but
hey, fix that, Blizzard. Let me go off the Dark Citadel. What are we doing?
Well, I think what it draws attention to is, I mean, one, the manner in which we will typically play is not in that couch co-op setting, and then even when we do have it, it's not the Dark Citadel. But you are onto something, Macro. If that is accessible, yeah, that is a good thing. It's just unfortunately the way couch co-op works and having to be tethered, that when you go too far away, you get pulled back to the other player, or you kind of get stuck. You can't do the instancing of the groups, which kind of throws a lot of the mechanics out the window, which unfortunate.
You are so right. Oh my God, that sucks so hard.
Theoretically, though, you could. I mean, obviously, you could still do it like online, right?
Yeah,
so, like,
sure. Absolutely.
Like separate console, separate like PC to console, even like So,
but a much bigger pain in the ass.
Really cool.
Yeah. Like when my son and I will do a season start together, like we're sitting next to each other, we make our characters, and then we go blast through the quest line, right? Like we can't, like I'm not gonna be like, all right, bud, hold up, let me go log into the computer, and then I'm gonna send you an invite, and like at that point, it doesn't feel as ingrained. But yes, you absolutely could do it. It is possible. I would, in some ways, like I like the having mechanics to bosses if there are more people there. I feel like that is something to hold on to for like future bosses down the road of like, okay, yeah, we got a single player version. Here it is. Oh, you want to bring another person? Guess what? He's got another hidden mechanic because you're stronger, so he gets to be too. Oh, you got a third one? Guess what? Here's another one. I think that would be exciting to that co-op, like online feel. But that also, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of manpower to kind of go and put that all together. So if it does get abandoned for the sake of something else, I totally get it. We're running long. We've been talking for a while, but I'm going to put one more thing out there, and this will be the close. Mercenaries. Mercenaries are a huge deal. They are a great callback to Diablo 2. This was a big selling point of Vessel of Hatred, was mercenaries. What is the legacy of mercenaries for Vessel of Hatred and going forward?
I hate them. Is that okay to say?
Yes,
is it
it's
okay
absolutely,
to say that?
Yeah.
So, and this isn't even like a they didn't give me Diablo 2 mercenaries. It's not even a they didn't give me Diablo 3 mercenaries. It's Subo lets me see monsters on the map, and Rahir fixes my resistances. And because I play the Necromancer, Aldkin is the best trigger for Decrepify for reducing cooldown on single targets. And sometimes if your build calls for it, you use Variana for some attack speed. So I think that their fear of just giving us another pile of gear to equip was warranted. Because I do think that mercenaries in Diablo 2, I don't really like them there either. It's like they hold an insight for my mana regeneration unless I'm an elemental build. And then on that one, it holds an infinity to break immunities or to lower resistances. And because you technically can, sometimes I put a pride on my Act 2. Notice I'm only talking about Act 2 mercenaries. I put a pride on it, and that's because I'm bad at this video game and I don't realize that pride is a trap. So and yes, you can do other stuff with it. Please don't at me. I know. I know. But it's like, at no point has it ever really felt good that I need to go get 3 more pieces of gear for my build to be online for my mercenary to survive and leech life and to be able to do this thing. So I get not being able to give them gear. They also seemingly have like a lot of mechanics, and they do inherit some of your stats, and they have all these things that's like, and now its attack will pierce, but he does 12 damage, and they never do damage.
But it pierces.
But it pierces now, and I'm like, that's a sick upgrade for 12 damage. I need Rax here with the 17 damage meme. And at first, like, my understanding was it's okay that they're going to be kind of important in the early game and then fall off in the end game, because we don't really want them to be that impactful. And I'm like, then why are they here? Like, their point is to become obsolete? That's like the point is like Subo is going to throw the Molotov and knock the monsters out of range of my attack, and that's going to give me a dot multiplier. Like, I don't, seeing them in the game, I don't really understand what they offered. I like everything around them. So like the fact that they are utility, I like that. The fact that they give you a new gambling and target farming economy system, I actually really like that. I think that that's awesome.
Yeah.
But they gave us basically, you know, like a den, right? Like they gave us like a player space, like you get in PoE, they give you your hideout, but it doesn't have everything that you want, and it doesn't have portals to your buddies, so you can't use it as a primary location. It also doesn't have an access to the pit, so you have to be favorited in Karagar anyways. So what's the point of giving me a hideout I can't use? They're just difficult to turn off and on. Like, you can't do it from the UI. You have to go fire them in person. You have to hand them their pink slip if you want to go test something.
No texting here.
They get aggro from monsters, but they can't be killed because they realize if they could be killed, that sucks. So they're invulnerable, but they get aggro, so sometimes it makes it harder to pull monsters together because they're trying to kill Aldkin, who's off in a field, spitting fire in the wrong direction. Like, this isn't me just bemoaning it as a complete failure. I think that it could be offering a lot more, and they chose not to, out of some fear that it would matter too much. And then again, it really just begs the question, so like, then why? Like, it really seems they're like, we're doing mercs, and then somebody said they can't be good, and they're like, hopefully nobody will notice that they don't really
we can
do
say
a
that we
lot.
did mercs. Yeah.
It's just it's a very, very weird implementation to me. I just wish they weren't in the game, and they are kind of a crutch/bandage for like 3 builds that don't work without them. So they're just as impactful as other mercenaries have been, but only in these specific circumstances. It's just very weird to me.
Yeah, I would pretty much completely agree. I think that if there is a saving grace to them, I do like their differences of character, and I liked getting them initially, like the little quest to go get them were fun. And I think that like it's a disappointment for me just because I want to know more about Aldkin and why we've never had a goat person before. We know enough, we know a little bit, but we don't know everything. And I just think there's more to explore there. But like, I think the biggest thing that drives me crazy, and this is really stupid because everything you said is completely valid, it makes way more sense. But the thing that bothers me about it is being out in the open world and then coming across a quest like that one of them is in, and you're like, why the fuck are you here? Like you're
two Rahirs.
Right, like this doesn't make any sense, and it really, as if like it was a problem to begin with. But yeah, it's weird, and I don't know why that's always bugged me, but that bugs me. I understand it, right? Like I like having them in different events, I suppose, but it just feels really weird when Aldkin's like my support guy and he's coming in, and then all of a sudden Aldkin's right here, but then he's still it's just really confusing. It's weird. Yeah, very small and stupid complaint because yours were made much more sense. But yeah, it's something you set and forget.
Agree.
Set and forget. Right?
I agree. When Subo's like in the corners being like, you can't trust everybody in this world, and Subo over here is like, you're a pretty good hunter, and I'm like,
yeah.
Pick a poll, bud.
Yeah.
Pick a poll, bud, and let's stick with that one. The energy, the whiplash is crazy right now. Also, why are you both here? How does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, to piggyback, going back early on talking about that druid that died in Torment 2, when I re-leveled, I didn't even think to go and get my mercenary until I hit 60, where I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. That doesn't feel like a great system to me. Like I should want to, and then like not have it be a chore. Like, oh yeah, I'll go to the den, and I guess we're here this time. Cool. All right. And never think of it again.
But you gotta level them all to 10.
Yeah, but
that's the important thing.
But like, why? Like it just doesn't. It doesn't feel good.
Look, Sant. Look, when you start a new season, there are two things you have to forget. One, until you're in like pit like 20, you have to forget the fact that you didn't go get your mercenary. It's by your like third or fourth Helltide, or maybe your first Infernal Horde, when you go, oh damn, I didn't put on a pet.
Yep.
Damn.
Oh God.
Damn it.
Every season.
So you have to forget them both. I have to have my chat has to remind me. They have to be like, why no mercenary? And I've fostered in them this idea that like if I'm doing something, there's a reason, because when I used to take tests, I would read the question. I go, this question exists. It must exist for a reason, and then use that to help answer the questions, right? That's like one of the ways to cheat out knowledge without having it. Shout outs to the seed that got me my degree. And they'll look at me and be like, oh, is there like meta without the mercenaries? And I go, the mercenaries, you're so right. I was wondering why I wasn't gaining unstoppable every once in a while from Rahir. And then you go get them, and there's so many times where I'll have to take them off to go test something, and then I'll start up the next stream and I'll be like, okay, let me run some pits because I have to level up some glyphs. And I get like 5 in, and I go, oh, I don't have my mercenaries. Oh, I do need those. Not because I really care about it, because like, Subo's cover fire never lands where I'm at, so like it's not a damage multi, so who cares? But I do want to be getting their pale marks because it's a really good way to target farm stuff. And that really just should not be happening. That we shouldn't be in a game state where that is common enough where we laugh at the fact that we've all shared that experience. And like, maybe that's the canary in the coal mine that's like, oh man, we should, I don't know, man, maybe you should scale them, or they engage more often with this skill that you're something.
I really liked what if either of you played the most recent Path of Exile League, Path of Exile 1, not 2, they did mercenaries. And it is an interesting play that you would encounter random mercenaries across the world that you could fight and then hire. And they would come with random gear and random skills. But it was exciting to find them. It was another little bit of a chase of like, oh man, so there's like 6 different types here, and I know what type I would like. I'm going to try and target farm and get this guy, because if he comes up with this power set, it would be an awesome addition to the build that I'm trying to run. That was fun. Like, I felt more agency towards a Path of Exile 1 mercenary than I have towards any of the Diablo 4 ones. And that feels bad because it was a core thing that I was actually kind of excited for. Like,
Yeah. It was hyped for sure.
Yeah. They did, like, part of the Gamescom reveal was all about these mercenaries. Who are they? Their backstories. What did they do? And you're like, all right, this is going to be cool. And it was a cool introduction. It was cool in the story to see them all kind of come together. And then it's like, all right, well, I'll talk to you never.
See you later.
At least in Diablo 3, that one, the one woman would tell us about the footprints in the sand. Like,
Irina.
yeah, that was
And
great.
there's only one set Irina carried you. Yeah, I remember that.
Ooh.
I just remember the scoundrel, and he was like,
well, he comes back.
I got her
in
number,
Diablo
and I'm like,
4,
sick, nice.
right?
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. Where
Oh
is
yeah,
he?
if you don't know Macro, he's the guy that runs Backwater.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the town. There's a whole
Oh, that's actually very cool. Oh, that's
Yeah.
very, very cool.
That is the
Yeah.
scoundrel. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
He's
it's nice-
old and an asshole, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
and more useful than most of our mercenaries. So
True.
yeah, he
Definitely
graduated and got like a real big boy job.
He did.
These ones we don't even want to hire, guys. We don't even
Well,
want
Altkin's
to
got
hire them.
potential though.
Altkin is
Got
cool.
potential.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah, they really said the Khazra, I don't know, did curse magic, and now that guy's a goat demon kid. And I went, okay, so let's talk about that, because the only other time that demons have ever been in this world outside of their own manifestation has been in the taking of the body to be able to manifest through that. So that really like brings a lot into question. They're like, yep.
That's
and we're
it.
moving right on.
And we're
Yeah.
moving on. And I'm like, are we? That's
Why is he the first one we can talk to and interact with that doesn't try to smash our face? I love it. I'm here for it,
like,
but
moving on.
need more
Mm,
information.
Where,
I didn't know about
that's
more.
bad.
I need to know more about Aldkin. Okay.
Mhm.
Nope.
It
He
implies
died.
that there's good guy Khazras living somewhere like the Tauren, or is this? You know what? That's what this is. They're just trying to. They're going to add a new race, new playable race.
Nope. He's
I'm
going to
actually here for
be.
it. Let me play a goat guy.
He's going to die in between expansions, and he will never be heard of again.
And he's not a mercenary anymore. That's right. Get bent. You guys don't. You didn't appreciate him while he was here. And the
You
fact that he
asked-
applies vulnerable to you.
You
A
asked
very
too many
interesting mechanic.
questions, and we've had to get rid of him. So
Yeah.
please stop bringing up our plot holes that we turned into characters. Just don't do that. We don't want that. Okay. So we've gone long, like I said, and I felt like that this could happen. I've had a great time, and hopefully other people listening have as well. The legacy of Vessel of Hatred, I think, if we were to be concise, is complicated, right? It's messy. I think, unfortunately, like the legacy of it will be judged by what happens in the next expansion. I think its saving grace is knowing that there will be another one, because then, what? It can't stand by comparison to Reaper and to Lord of Destruction. Those were both monumental, game-changing expansions. Whereas I think this was game-enhancing, but not game-changing. It has left us wanting. Whereas the other two, while I think Reaper we wanted more, we just didn't get it. We were satiated with Lord of Destruction. So Vessel's complicated, and its legacy is still up in the air. But happy 1 year to you, little Vessel of Hatred.
Little Vessel of Hatred.
You did it. We're so proud of you. That's weird, but hey, whatever.
That was it. Was we definitely got to an energy. I'm not sure what kind of energy.
I don't know
think
where.
we're all thinking about baby Mephisto Akarat. That's where I went. The swaddling clothing. That's where I went to.
Got strange.
Yeah. It's been a while. It's late. We just have that kind of energy. It's gonna happen. I felt like we played it straight for most of this, and then sometimes the weird just comes out. That's okay. That's okay. So Macro, obviously popping back in. Where can most people find you?
I spelt my name dumb. So I'm at MarcroBioBoi everywhere. If you don't want to try to remember that, I'm the Necromancer class lead for Max Roll. So if you go to those build guides, you'll see me on one of them. But if you care enough, you'll find me. I stream on Twitch and on YouTube every day, Monday through Friday, typically between 1 to 7 p.m. ET. So if you want to come find me there, I've been uploading more TikToks, and I also upload to Reels. I also upload to Facebook and YouTube Shorts, and it sucks so bad. So if you could go, you don't even have to watch them really. If you could just like type like, "Hey, I was here," that would mean the world to me. It's so much more energy because I do all my own editing. But that's it. That's enough of me, Sean. I'm just glad to be here and be able to talk to you nerds because I don't get these kinds of opportunities. I just have to do math all the time, and it's nice to. It's like sincerely nice to be able to just be a nerd in the genre and be part. Like we say the word all the time, but like I'm just another person in the community who's just geeking out about the game, and I want to chit chat about it. So thank you very much for having me. I appreciate y'all.
We gotta pull you out of the lab every now and then.
Yeah, every once in a while.
It is genuinely nice to sit and chat, and you are always welcome here. That we don't do it nearly as often as what we should. I want to point out before we kind of close that I messaged Macro this morning. I was just like, "Hey,
what a guy!
We're putting together the pod, and Nine Ball's not able to make it. Would you want to pop in?" And I always give the out of like, I am messaging you way too late. I am messaging you way too late in how these things should work. And you're like, yeah, there wasn't even a hesitation. It was just like, yeah, I can do that. I will be there. Which is how most of these podcasts work. It is a late message from myself. I think you've been on like what 5 or 6 of these, and there's one where you got like a week notice of like, yeah, next week.
Yeah.
We'll see you then.
Yeah, I think there was like the introductory one, right? Just like, hey,
I was way more cordial with that one.
Hello, my name is I won't say your whole government name, and I host a podcast. Would you be interested? I was just like, hell yeah, dog. Nobody lets me talk unless I put myself in front of a camera. Yeah, for sure. No, it's always a pleasure. I do like that this is part of our relationship and how I get on here. It's like, no joke, like I wake up, I'm doing, because I'm a recent homeowner, right? So like I'm doing dishes, my girlfriend's commuting to work. And it's like, hey, what are you doing tonight? And I'm like, I'm my own man. I'm doing whatever I want to do. Also, I am available tonight. Let me just make sure I unstream on time. So yeah, but thank you very much for having me. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Well, let's close it out as we always do with a moo, moo, moo.
Moo. That was a good one.